Welcome back to another tabletop review. Today we'll look at the Glock 26 Gen 4 9mm pistol. The Glock 26, known affectionately as the Baby Glock, hit the market back in 1994 and quickly became the most sought-after professional concealed gun since the snub-nose revolver. With 10 rounds and good accuracy, the subcompact Glock 26 remains highly regarded among security personnel and agency professionals throughout the world. Let's make sure this one is cleared. Okay, this is going to be a little different. If you've watched many of my videos, you know that I typically review guns that I personally own. As such, I usually have spent quite a bit of time with the firearm. I've done more than a cursory look and a little range time. I think that's important for my reviews, and yes, most of my reviews are fairly positive because I was attracted enough to the gun to buy it in the first place. But today, I'm reviewing a gun that I don't own and I haven't really spent that much time with, the Glock 26. Why? Well, to be honest, because my son has gone on and on and on about this gun. This is his Glock. This is the gun he carries, and he's absolutely convinced that if I'll give the 26 a fair look, it'll win me over. Now, he's a military professional, and I respect his opinion. But I've not been attracted to a Glock yet. Sorry. Nonetheless, this has been a long time in coming, and I have promised to be as objective as possible. So let's do this. Well, my son's Gen 4 Glock 26 came in a fairly nice plastic case. Has the traditional paperwork, has the lock, has a cleaning tool. It also came with 3 magazines. My son can't remember if it actually was with these 3 magazines new or if one was added. One magazine had a finger extension on it. The other 2 did not. Glock is a weapons manufacturing company with headquarters in Austria. It's named after its founder, Gaston Glock, an Austrian engineer. Glock began in 1963 manufacturing injected molding parts and components. In the 1970s, Glock began to produce its first military products, knives, grenade casings, and machine gun belt links. But it was in the early 1980s that Glock pistols were born to meet the needs of the Austrian military. This first Glock was the Glock 17. It had a polymer frame and a patented safe action system that would revolutionize the pistol market. And while the H&K VP-70 may have been the first polymer frame pistol 12 years earlier, it was the popularity of the Glock 17 that would inspire gun manufacturers to follow suit. It is said that Glock had asked the Austrian military and police what could be done to improve the service pistol, and the result was the Glock's completely new design, which had high capacity, was lightweight, and was interchangeable between models. It could be dropped, submerged, and subjected to temperature extremes and extreme treatments and conditions, yet still be relied on to fire accurately. Not only did Glock win the Austrian military and police contracts, but due to its outstanding design and excellent marketing efforts, it opened its U.S. headquarters, Glock Incorporated, in Georgia in 1986. With big discounts to police departments, Glock successfully entered the U.S. market in 1988. As for marketing in 1990, Glocks began to appear in the hands of police officers in Law and Order and other police shows. It was also used by Bruce Willis in the movie Die Hard 2, where Willis' character promotes the advantages of a Glock. Like Clint Eastwood's Smith & Wesson Model 29 revolver in the Dirty Harry movies, or the James Bond Walther PPK in the 007 movies, Hollywood film publicity helped the Glock gain public attention and popularity. The Glock 26 grew out of an evolution of design and need. The first Glock 26 was released in 1994. Designed for the public and law enforcement as a concealed carry weapon, the subcompact Glock 26 was smaller than the compact Glock 19, which was smaller than the original Glock 17. But as each version was reduced in size, improvements of their overall designs were also made. The Gen 4 Glock 26 like this one were first introduced in 2010. Gen 5 Glock 26 were released in 2018 with an improved barrel and improved ergonomics, as well as ambidextrous slide stops and more durable slide finish. Today, Glock advertises 30 different models and versions of polymer handguns on its website, and it's one of the most well-known gun manufacturers in the world. By the way, the only Glock made in the United States today is the .380 Glock 42. The specs on the Glock 26. First of all, it's a semi-automatic subcompact 9mm pistol. Its finish is black matte, has white outlined sights, has a barrel length of 3.43 inches, overall length is 6.29 inches, overall height is 4.7 inches. It's 1.26 inches thick, comes with 2 magazines of 10 round capacities, has an unloaded weight of 21.52 ounces. Trigger pull is only 5.5 pounds. Has a safe action Glock, 3 automatic safeties. Now let's talk about my range experience. Since I don't own a Glock 26, I thought I needed to spend some additional time at the range with one. My wife and I had fired a 26 a few years ago when we were first looking for a concealed gun that would suit her needs. We had quickly moved on to other options after firing just 1 magazine of rounds. I think she only fired 1 shot before she handed the gun over to me. So earlier this week I went back to the range. I'm fortunate in that my range also rents out a good assortment of guns, and yep, they had a Glock 26. To be honest, I really wanted to like this gun. I feel I should own at least 1 Glock. Perhaps this would be the one. As I took the gun in hand, I spent time concentrating on what I liked and didn't like about its feel. The gun feels very light. For carry, I can see the appeal here. It's not a very attractive piece, but if function is more important, then the Glock's reputation must be given its due. I do like the sights. The grip seems short to me, and because I have long fingers, the gun just didn't feel comfortable in my hand. It's like wanting a pair of shoes that just don't really fit. That's the only way I can describe it. I moved on to loading the gun and racking the slide. All very good, functional, not what I'd call silky smooth, but with 10 rounds it certainly had good capacity for a small 9mm. Firing seemed to have less recoil than I had expected for a light polymer gun. I really like that. I was using the range supplied Cellular and Billet 124 grain ammo. Actually, I expected a little bit more of a kick. Trigger action was good, but for some reason I could not seem to maintain target. I had to really concentrate on all the basics all over again, and it was frustrating. After 2 boxes of ammo, I felt I'd given it my best. This was the same problem that my wife and I had with the first Glock we tried years ago. It was a Glock 19. We were both more comfortable and better with other guns. Sorry, but sometimes the shoe just doesn't fit. Glock 26 that I had tried out at the range had 2 magazines that I used, one with the finger extension, one without. So there's a difference with the finger extension, which I prefer when firing the gun. One gun that I would say is comparable to the Glock 26 that I do have experience with is the Kimber Micro 9. It's about the same size as the G26, but carries 3 less rounds, seems to have more recoil, and costs about $200 more. Still, the Kimber feels better in my hand. It's just as comfortable to carry, and I have no problem putting my shots where I need. But even here, I actually bought the Kimber Micro 380 model because it was just that much smaller to be allowed to be more comfortably carried in the smallest of the urban carry holsters, which I sometimes prefer. Of course, this is purely personal, but when the shoe fits, it fits. Well, let me go over some of what I consider to be the cons of the Glock 26. One thing I've noticed about Glock owners is that they seem to have a solution for anything that you don't like about their guns. If the 5.5 pound trigger seems too light for a concealed carry, well, there's a fix for that. If I find the 26 grip to be a little too short, there's an inexpensive third-party grip extension to solve that problem too. On the one hand, I think that's great. On the other, I find it somewhat irritating. I mean, I usually don't buy a gun to make a gun out of it that I like. Perhaps that's just me. Okay, so why would I buy this gun? Well, the answer would have to be for concealed carry. If that's the case, then I would have to get personal here. I just don't see the 26 as a real subcompact and certainly not a pocket gun. That's not to say that it couldn't fit in a pocket holster. It's about the size of the Kimber Micro 9, as I said earlier, or even a Bersa Thunder 380, and I actually feel the same way about them. They're all just too big for daily comfortable pocket carry. It's just my opinion. Now, as a belt holstered gun, yes, actually the Glock 26 is pretty good, worn at about 4 o'clock, or in a cross-draw holster worn at 10 o'clock. Fairly flat, yet 10 round 9mm compared to the Kimber Micro 9's only 7 rounds, or even the Bersa 8 rounds of 380 ACP. I mean, that's impressive. But personally, today, I like to pocket carry. So the Glock 26, while a lot of gun for its size, just doesn't work for me. That's just me. However, I guess that's not really a con then, is it? It's just really my preference, and it's not really about the gun. Well, let's go over some of the pros of the Glock 26. The first thing is, obviously, it's lightweight and compact and yet holds 10 rounds. Although, for whatever reason, I had my challenge in accuracy, for many, the 26 is an accurate shooter. Its simple design has fewer moving parts than most of its competition, and it's easy to maintain. Few guns can match the functionality of the Glock design. Operationally, if you've learned to handle one Glock, then you can handle another model without having to learn new skills. Not only are skill sets transferable throughout the Glock line, but so are the Glock magazines. The Glock 26 will also take the Glock 19 15-round magazine and the Glock 17 17-round magazine, and even Glock's machine gun size 33-round stick magazine without modification. Aftermarket support of the 26 is good, a lot of options out there. The 26 comes with 2 magazines, good size mag release, and replaceable black back straps. The trigger is light and crisp. The Glock's reliability is legendary, and there's no doubt that the popularity of the brand has risen to an almost cult-like following. As such, the Glock's name carries some weight. Even the baby Glock demands some respect. Disassembly of the Glock 26 is fairly straightforward. First thing we're going to do is remove the magazine. We've already checked to make sure that the gun is unloaded. So we're going to just pull the trigger, dry fire it, and then these tabs on either side of the frame here, we're going to bring the slide back just slightly and pull down on those. And in doing so, we now have released the slide from the frame. We then can remove the rod and spring, and we can remove the barrel. And that's disassembly. Reassembly is basically the reverse of what we did for disassembly. We're going to return the barrel to the slide there, and the spring and the rod, and we're going to bring it back so that the end of this fits up against the barrel there. And then once those are assembled, we can just return the slide to the frame. And that's it. The suggested retail price on the Glock 26 Gen 4 is about $500 to $550. The most common price I saw today was about $530. I've seen the newer Gen 5s offered for as low as $575. Okay, well, while I may have been a bit harsh in my review, I tried to make it clear that my comments were merely a reflection of my own personal preferences. But that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the Glock 26. My son was right. After having spent a little time with his beloved Glock 26, this little gun has indeed its advantages. Okay, I may not be running out and buying one for myself anytime soon, but I am convinced that if you need a safe, discreet handgun with firepower and reliability, the Glock 26 certainly has to be on your list of contenders. Packing 10 rounds into such a small package while providing a great trigger and the flexibility to easily add higher capacity magazines without modification is just brilliant. and certainly worth your consideration. Any weapon you carry is better than the one you left at home. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll be back for my next tabletop review. Until next time, stay safe.